Hello. This is Tuesday, March 21st, 2023. Temperature around here is about 30 degrees, going up to 56, with rain later today. Again, if the COVID-19 virus positivity rate is above 5% in your area, don't forget to wear a mask. If you're going out to be around people, to help prevent the spread of COVID-19 and its variants. Also, the CDC has put out a fungus alert for the northeastern part of the United States. It seems that 12 cases have come forward, have been discovered by medical staff. So the CDC is warning about that. You might want to take the time to find out the names and proper references and signs and symptoms. Watching the Sideshow on Facebook and Instagram, don't forget to like, comment, and share in the boxes below. If you're watching the Sideshow on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. Sideshow coffee cup, 11-ounce ceramic. You can buy from me for $17 plus shipping and handling. And pay me through Cash App, $ TR Parker, all caps 1. So, there's a lot of variation in the news articles for today. So we'll just go through them and see what you think. First off, I'd like to start out with Kobe Bryant's handprints and footprints unveiled at TCL Chinese Theater. Over the past year, I think Ice Cube, Ice-T, and this actually happened last week, but I took a little time to absorb it because Vanessa was there with the three daughters, Natalie, Bianca, and Capri. And they were the ones that actually pulled the cover off of the star on the Walk of Fame. And it was a nice little presentation. And as was commented in the article, Vanessa Bryant continues to grow strong and carrying on the legacy of Kobe Bryant and caring for their three daughters. Russia, over here on this side. Putin faces lifelong arrest warrant as China responds to ICC decision. So this is like what we used to refer to as war crimes. I think they are tried in Helsinki, but it kind of struck me about the magnitude of it because it's insisting that even if the war in Ukraine ends, that Putin is still going to be held responsible, for the things that went on there. So, still with these kind of international things, people, I think of countries like Brazil where there's no extradition and things of this nature. But in this particular instance, 123 countries have signed off on this Roman signatory, is what it's referred to as. And then an additional dozen or so have included themselves in this agreement about Putin. So I think it's nowhere that he can go. How it will happen, I don't know. But that being said, the United States and Russia are not included in this group of people that handle International Crime Commission. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, spring break in Miami. You notice there was a shooting with a loss of life on one of the beaches in Miami. And subsequently, that suspect has been apprehended. But the authorities there are saying no booze on the beach. You're welcome to come down, enjoy yourself with your family, but no booze, possession of, or imbibing of alcohol on the beach. Going back a little bit, okay, you know that there were 4 American citizens, black citizens, 1 woman, 3 men, 2 were killed, 2 were returned home by cartel members in Mexico. And as investigation proceeded, it was determined that the cartels mistook them for Haitians because there was a Venezuelan Haitian encampment nearby and thought they were smuggling drugs. From that, if you remember, the cartel rounded up the 5 people involved, put a note on them and said, "This is who you're looking for." It was around that time that there were words back and forth between the president of Mexico and representatives of the United States about sending a military force to Mexico to help curb the activity of the cartels. So, excuse me. Now, for some reason, there's a military group and the cartels engaged them, U.S. military, somewhere along the border of Mexico and Texas, I guess, United States, nonetheless, which resulted in 7 people dead, 5 cartel members and 2 U.S. servicemen. So that being said, you know, there's a level 4 alert, no spring break in Mexico. Now, can you get ready for Steven Seagal going to Russia, or was that all just media hype and acting like he's sympathetic with Putin and various things that Russia is doing? My eyebrows are raised on this one because as a martial artist, I consider myself a martial artist, a longtime student. There's certain ways that you conduct and carry yourself, especially in a situation between Russia and Ukraine as an example. So, that's what it was. This whole war crimes thing, I thought it was because of some of the atrocities that have been going on, perpetrated by Russian soldiers on Ukrainian citizens and whatnot. And it's really a factor that most countries do have a military, all right? That's so that their civilian population will not have to get out and engage in wartime activities. So it's a special affront to the arrangement that military would attack civilians. So the reason, excuse me, that the ICC actually drew up the papers was because Putin has been exporting Ukrainian children to Russia. So the accusations involve this and, him taking those children out of the country, of all the things. So getting back to Steven Seagal. So, for an old school way of saying it, you got to have a code, you got to have some honor, you got to stand for what's right, all these other little things as you beat your body into shape, if I may coin a phrase, and your mind gets right. So, what happened, Stephen? Okay. Floyd Mayweather, Money Mayweather, was just teasing him about his early videos of him rapping. He says, stick to boxing. But on this one, Floyd Mayweather in Dubai. I got my own airport now. So he says, getting off the jet, video included. Excuse me. And if I may, served him a cup of coffee, and somehow or another, the cup of coffee had an image of him with his boxing gloves on, striking a pose at the top of the coffee. You know how they usually get that little decorative swirl and stuff on coffee to make it eye appealing. And a picture of him. Okay. I got my own airport now. Floyd Mayweather. Here's another one that was a stretch for me. Judge rules banks can be sued for profiting from Jerry Epstein's sex trafficking scheme. I didn't even know the banks were involved, but I guess some way, shape, and form they were or are. And judge rules they can be sued for that. All those victims of Jerry Epstein can create a case. Whether you're aware or not, yesterday was International Day of Happiness. Finland remains world's happiest country. And just to round it off, around this time in 2020, we had experienced the death of Breonna Taylor by Louisville Police Department on a lot of bungled warrants and other misconduct charges that we have seen come forward. And it wasn't long after that George Floyd died at the hands of police in Minneapolis. So with those two things, you can imagine, it's just mushrooming from your block to your city, to your state, bouncing outside the state, and then across the country, United States, and then bouncing off of those borders into all parts of the world, protesting about what happened to this man and Breonna Taylor. So I saw this article, 9.25 million settlement announced in 2020 protest lawsuits. At first, I thought I didn't see the dot after the 9, so I thought it was 925 million. I thought that was enough to cover the country. Everybody get a little bit. But it comes to find out, this settlement is in Philadelphia, and West Philadelphia specifically, for 343 people that had been mistreated by the hands of the police during those protests, specifically at locations on a bridge and then in a certain neighborhood, but all confined to West Philadelphia. So that's the settlement, $925 million in 2020 protest lawsuits. 3 years later. That's it. Hashtag